Hey guys, it's 6:20 p.m. here in Los Angeles, and I wanted to talk today about kind of the measures I took in order to heal from a narcissist who was physically and emotionally abusive. Again, I'm on my healing journey, and it is going to be a lifelong journey for people of narcissistic abuse. But what you really need to work on, just one second, when you are dealing with this type of thing is the first step is to go no contact. No contact needs to be your motto. It needs to be something you're thriving for, and it is a lifelong battle. And there is a way to go pretty close to no contact, even if you're sharing children. I know I've researched something called parallel parenting, but that can be another video I'll make. The first step is to go no contact. If you are dealing with a person that is an abuser, a physical abuser, chances are is they're not going to let you get away easily. They may be stalking you. They may be breaking into your home. They may be physically hurting you, following you to your work or school, your children's school, as mine was doing. They may be spying on you and not letting you out of their grasp. So in order to go no contact under those circumstances, you really do need to get a restraining order. And this is not a desperate, this is a desperate attempt to get rid of the narcissist, but it is not something that's over the top or overreacting as the narcissist might make you believe. So your first order of business is to obtain a way to go no contact. And what that means is not to engage, talk, hear, see the narcissist in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure you guys have heard of this already. I'm sure there's lots of videos out there on it. So you delete them from all social media, you block them. It's better to remove your social media as well, because the narcissist, all narcissists do stalk victims that they have interest in, and victims that they don't, previous exes, whatever. They're known for stalking. So remove yourself from social media is what I ultimately had to do. You want to not speak to them. You want to not hear them. So if they have a way of leaving voicemails, you want to make sure that they can't do that. Sorry, there's somebody there. You want to make sure that they don't have the ability to leave a voicemail. Changing your phone number, changing your home address is the ultimate. That's the best case scenario. Again, you have to be prepared and ready to do all of these things. This has to be a decision you've made. If you go back on any of these decisions, you fall right back into the snare, into the trap. So you really have to be prepared and talk yourself into this stuff, and really have your mind set on it. Just like if you want to lose weight, or if you want to get clean off of drugs, it's a decision that you have had to have ultimately made in order to implement these things. So no contact is your first, it's your mantra, it's your motive, it's your motto, okay? Permanently. No contact means a permanent situation. Don't go stalking on their stuff. Don't go stalking on their next victim. Don't go stalking on their children or family. Just, that's it. No contact. The next order of business is to now start to heal yourself. So when I give you this advice, I have not implemented some of the advice I'm giving you 100%. I've slipped up here and there. I did go look on my Narc's new victims page, which I shouldn't have done. It sent me into a backwards spiral, where I lost months of rehabilitation. And primarily I did that because I was concerned for the new victim, but the things you may find are very confusing. And oftentimes the narcissist does what's called a panic pick. So they pick outside of what they, what you thought was their type, or their standards. So they do that, and that just will send you into a very confused state. But that's besides the point. This is what I have found that somebody who wants to heal entirely needs to do. So let's do this video for people without children, because that's a whole other story, and that's probably going to be an hour-long video. So no contact is what you need to do. If you feel like you've been emotionally damaged or bruised bad enough, then you need to seek some type of therapy, because the type of psychological stuff or physical stuff that happens during narcissistic abuse is really deeply embedded and woven, and it becomes a very crazy scenario. And I like to use the word bamboozled, and bewildered was how I felt leaving the narcissistic relationship. Like I had really lost all sense of self. I lost my belief in God, which was really strong when I had first met him. You lose your interests, your likes. I lost any form of sexuality I had at one point. So you really are a stranger to yourself. And this is a permanent change that has happened. If you feel like your abuse went that far, you are now a new person, an entirely new person after narcissistic abuse. So you need to get in touch with this new person, because you don't know them, you've never met them, and you have to get acquainted with this person you are now. So I would suggest this person you're now discovering after narcissistic abuse, really tend to that person, care for that person, take yourself to a massage, get your nails done. If you find that, you're interested in artwork or poetry, really focus on those things and try and do them as much as possible, just to explore who you are now. That would be my advice. Thirdly, seek therapy. I sought both individual therapy and group therapy. I found that the group therapy was much more helpful to me than the individual, unless you're working with a therapist that is very experienced in domestic violence, or psychological and emotional violence by the hands of a spouse or intimate person. That I would try those measures. You can try invasive therapies like EMDR, which is like an eye movement therapy that resets your brain for any PTSD symptoms you may have. I'm starting hypnotherapy because there is a lot of PTSD and CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, that comes along with long-term physical violence, and a cocktail of emotional abuse as well. So I would seek a lot of treatment in those fields. The other thing is to not speak about the individual. I find in the beginning, your first 3 to 6 months of recovery, you need to speak about the individual, and you feel the need to speak about the individual, and to let all your friends know, so that you can get validated with their behavior. With this, I have mixed emotions about. I talked the ears off of my friends. I got extremely validated. I might suggest that you can get your validation for a few months, and then you can get your validation through group therapy, because the women there are able to relate to your stories, and you'll get a lot of validation that way. But eventually you want to get in a place where you're not thinking about the narcissist in a way where you're vocalizing them. So you want to eventually get to that place where you're not talking about them anymore. You're not mentioning them. Every time you feel the need or urge to mention them, shoot it down and replace it with a good thought. So eventually you want to just not give the narcissist any mention. What I like to do is not say his name, and I like to refer to him as that person or individual, it. So I don't really know what to call it or them. They seem to be extraterrestrial almost. So those are some healing measures that I would do if. And this is another one, and I think it's really, really vital if you did endure extensive, long-term, or really brutal abuse. I would really, really consider moving. And I know that sounds invasive, and I know it sounds, over the top, but some people really do find healing in moving out of state. So I don't just mean moving homes, I mean moving your entire environment across country, to another state. Sometimes that really allows you to have a fresh, brand new outlook on life. And it really could work for you. I mean, you're a new person, you have a new outlook, a new lease on life, and maybe that will help you embrace it. So these are the things I kind of implemented and I found are the most helpful in my healing. Like I said, just get to know you, forget the narcissist, and really work on being the best you can be. I hope this video helps some of you, and I look forward to talking to you all in a later video. One thing I forgot to mention is when you're seeking help on YouTube or advice, this was actually why I made the video to mention this, was you can seek advice and help from a life coach who is usually a prior victim that has been through narcissistic abuse, especially I'm talking if the life coach is a life coach focused on narcissistic abuse. Or what really helped me is actually listening and watching videos by actual narcissists, because the way my mind works is I don't just want to know the victim's point of view, because I know the victim's point of view. I am the victim. I'm actually what indulged us and what kind of brought us near to the narcissist was their mind and their behavior, right? Although a lot of it was a facade, we still stayed. So the mystery and the luxury, the intrigue of their behavior is kind of what drawed me in. I had never met somebody like that. So I like to watch a couple of YouTube channels by diagnosed narcissists. One channel I like to watch is Sam Vaknin. The last name is Vaknin, and he was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder twice in his life, and now he has dedicated his life into pushing out information about narcissism, and he does it in a very formal way, which I can relate to and understand, and it's almost perfect, just like a narcissist would typically try and deliver. And it really helps you get in the mind of them, and it helps you see just what you were in for, and it validates that your decision to leave was right, because they also suggest no contact. Another YouTube channel I like to watch is Knowing the Narcissist, and he again was diagnosed, I believe, don't quote me, but he was diagnosed with psychopathy and narcissism. And he really helps you get into the mind of a narcissist. And once a narcissist is telling you how their mind works, and you have vocalized that, hey, my ex was a narcissist and I'm sure of that, then I don't see how or why you would consider getting back with them, because their mind is very sick, and their care for other people isn't there, and they don't care what you're going through and how you're feeling. So my brain is able to coincide with the videos that an actual diagnosed narcissist makes. It helps me more so than the life coaches, because I'm pretty self-aware. I don't know if you guys are, but maybe you can check out both victim and narcissist videos and kind of go from there. Again, thank you for watching this video, and leave a comment if you can relate. Thank you. Bye.